Hello, friends. Welcome back to another episode of GM Philosophy in the Morning. This is kind of a special episode. In this episode, I'm reviewing the winning creation from a two-page faction contest that we ran in the GM Philosophy Discord. If you're not a member of the Discord, you should definitely join us. Link is in the description. We run contests, create awesome stuff, talk about awesome D&D stuff or TTRPG stuff, and it's pretty cool. In today's episode, I'm reviewing the winning two-page faction contest created by Bailey. It's called ScrapJacks. I have looked at this, but I have not delved too deeply into it, and I have not read through the whole thing. So you're going to see my first reaction to this, and we're going to give Bailey props, if deserved, for her awesome creations. I would also like to remind you that you can support the GM Philosophy channel and community and all the small creators who make it happen by jumping down into the description and signing up for my Ko-Fi community supporter membership. If GM Philosophy brightens your day even a little bit during the month and it's worth it to you to gain access to my entire collection of books and more, well, guess what? That is the best way to support the channel. So without further delay, let's dive in and take a closer look at ScrapJacks by Bailey. All right, first off, we have this PDF, and this is available for download. If you'd like to download this, use it in your game, link is in the description, grab it off my Google Drive. But look how this is laid out. Very, very nice. Nicely done, very clean, very easy to read. Definitely reminds me of kind of like a steampunkish type style and vibes with the gears and things like that. And we got a picture of some airships up here. Alright, so, ScrapJacks by Bailey. The ScrapJacks are a ragtag yet fiercely independent crew of scavengers, thieves, and self-taught artificers. Based on the unforgiving industrial district of Coppertown, they pride themselves on their adaptability, transforming salvage and scraps into utility. The industrial decay of Coppertown is both a challenge and opportunity, a chance to improve their community while making some coin on the side. Known members: Sash, a nonverbal tiefling. Sash is the informal leader of the group. His moral compass guides the ScrapJacks toward using their skills to improve the lives of the underprivileged. Pasca, Sash's sister. She is an imaginative and naturally gifted engineer, but often clashes with her brother's pacifist ethics and aversion to direct violence. This sounds like it could be an anime, actually. This is a two-page faction, but it sounds like it could be an anime. Nemec, an idealistic and philosophical thief and tinkerer. He supports the group through his intellect and quiet defiance against authority. Skeeve is a goblin. Skeeve is the most skilled scavenger and thief, able to fit into hard-to-get places, though his feralness makes him unpredictable and unreliable at times. Alright, so far so good. I really like this. I really like the known members. This is a fun, not too difficult set of descriptions. Sometimes when you're running something like this as a GM and you jump in and you have to look too closely at the descriptions, it almost defeats the purpose of having a pre-created faction like this, because you have to scan through and be like, man, am I getting everything right? Am I going to miss something? So the fact that this is very simple and then it gives the GM the ability to fill in the rest of the blanks is pretty cool. All right, now let's talk about the goals. Catching wind of emerging automaton technology, they see the potential to retrofit one of these constructs into a machine capable of clearing the streets of pollution and industrial waste. To achieve this, they're determined to acquire schematics, components, or even a prototype model through any means necessary. Recent efforts to infiltrate the Supercrust Artificers Guild have failed, leaving the group eager to regroup. Now here's their reputation. Among locals, seen as underdogs by some and resource hoarders by others, many residents of Coppertown rely on the ScrapJacks to repair what's broken or to sell makeshift necessities. Among law enforcement, disliked, if not outright hunted by local forces, ScrapJacks operate outside legal bounds, often breaking into derelict warehouses or privately owned property to scavenge materials. Okay, so I could totally see the player characters, like the group, coming into contact with the ScrapJacks, and the ScrapJacks being like, hey, you want to do a job for us? And then sending them into a warehouse. It'd be kind of fun. Identification. ScrapJacks are identified by pins made from copper coins that have been flattened, then decorated in green paint with their cog symbol. Okay, so it looks like this. The hideout. They operate out of Gadani Breaking Yard, a place where airships and vessels go to die. Hidden in a maze of twisted metal and unwanted bits, their hideout is made from the bridge of a retired airship. That's actually super cool. Really cool setting, probably for a chase scene. Like if the group and the ScrapJacks get off to bad terms, maybe the group needs to run away from them. Hello, I'm the GM Philosopher. I wanted to take a quick break from today's program to just thank you so much for watching the channel. As the founder of the channel, I'm eternally grateful and appreciative of everyone who clicks on the videos, watches them, and enjoys our favorite hobby together with us. With that being said, I do have something I want to give you. This is an ebook I created called The Ultimate Plot Randomizer. It allows you to roll random plot arcs on the fly using 4 awesome D100 tables. Roll on the hook table, the complication table, the climax table, and even on the wild and wacky table to come up with plot arcs that your characters would never see coming. If your player characters are anything like mine, sometimes they do wild and unexpected stuff that leaves you wondering, what the heck am I going to do about this? And this ebook was designed to handle specifically those types of situations. You can grab it by clicking on the link in the description, sign up for my email list, and within about 15 minutes, you'll get that first email, which will contain a download link to your free ebook. Plus, this will sign you up for the GM Philosophy mailing list to keep you updated about news, special events, and other awesome stuff that we send out in our email list on a weekly basis. Grab that, print it out, throw it in your toolkit, boom, you'll never go without another plot arc ever again. All right, now let's get back to the video. All right, so starting on page 2 here, we see that there's an image, and I believe this is an image of Pascha. I would imagine, because Pascha is a tiefling, and so this character looks like a tiefling with the horns and the ears, so I'm pretty sure it's Pascha. All right, let's look at languages. The group speaks Thieves' Cant and Common Sign Language, which Sash speaks exclusively. Sign language is vital to the group for communicating silently during job. Pretty cool. This would also be a cool way to give like the rogue of the group who speaks Thieves' Cant, like to give them an in and make them feel special about something. Like this is a kind of a fun special thing the rogue can do. Potential story hooks. Let's read this next. Dealing schematics. The ScrapJacks have learned that the schematics for a new automaton design are being transported through a nearby town or facility. They plan to ambush the delivery, but they're understaffed and seek outside help. Or perhaps your players stumble into the heist mid-execution, deciding whether or not to help them. Sabotage. A rival faction or corrupt local official sabotages one of the ScrapJacks' inventions, harming a local resident and spreading misinformation about the group. The ScrapJacks need help repairing the damage and uncovering the truth before the local community turn against them. And then there's a lost power source. Rumors of an ancient arcane battery reach the ScrapJacks' ears. The item is located in a dangerous zone, filled with dangerous creatures, rivals, and hazards. Lured by the possibility of revolutionary tech, the ScrapJacks plan an expedition and look for outside help. Players can partner with the ScrapJacks to discover this technology, take the power source for themselves, and or discuss the ethical dilemma of unleashing the unknown and potentially dangerous tech into Coppertown. Now let's read about the Concussive Toolcaster. What is this? Invented by Pascha and Nemec to assist with scavenging and defense, the Concussive Toolcaster is versatile, non-lethal, modified pistol. Oh, okay, so a ranged weapon attack, range 20 to 80 feet, damage 1d8 plus dex, non-lethal force damage to one target. Hook launcher, a grappling mechanism capable of launching up to 100 feet, ideal for scaling heights or traversing obstacles. Smoke charges, contains 5 smoke charges that can launch a grenade-like device, creating a 10-foot radius of obscured vision for 1 minute. And then we have some cool artwork down here. So that's pretty awesome. So let's talk about these story hooks for just a minute. I really like the story hooks, and I'm getting the sense that like the ScrapJacks are actually a group of like maybe chaotic good characters who are trying to actually help and like do good things, but they do break the law and they delve into kind of like, you know, illegal stuff sometimes, making them technically a criminal organization, but a criminal organization aimed at helping the people, kind of like a Robin Hood-esque type thing. So I really like this. I think this is very cool. So things I like about it, my favorite thing about it is probably the simplicity with which the characters and the situation is laid out. This is something that could be very easy for me to take and run in a game, and there isn't so much complicated information that I have to like really study and double check myself. I could scan this, throw it in there. It would be an awesome starting point for me to use my own creativity to build on it, which I think is perfect when you're creating stuff for people to run in their games. I really do like the potential story hooks. I think that my favorite story hook of the 3 is the stealing schematics one. The ScrapJacks have learned that the schematics for a new automaton design are being transported through a nearby town or facility, and they plan to ambush the delivery, but they're understaffed and seek outside help. I really like this. This is a great way to like bring the players in, and if I were going to run this, that's the encounter I would use for it. Now, the one thing that's probably not really my style is and this is just a style, purely a style thing, is the Concussive Toolcaster. So the pistol. I am not a huge fan of putting firearm type devices into my fantasy games. So this is like very much like a cyberpunk steampunk kind of element, and that's the vibe I'm getting from the whole thing, which is really, really cool. It would make a fun, like, urban setting type encounter and faction. However, I would probably find myself skipping the concussive toolcaster, possibly, if I felt like it broke immersion in my fantasy world a little bit. But that kind of also depends. It depends on what the rest of the world is like. It is such a cool device. Like, what if we go adjacent one category from high fantasy into like cyberpunk or steampunk, this is a super awesome like weapon. So anyway, that's just kind of a little thematic like style thing for me, but that's the only thing I see here that I may not include if I were going to run this. It wouldn't be because it's not awesome. It would be just because simply out of a sense of my own taste and style in it. But boom, Bailey, great job on this. I give this 10 points for sure. Awesome 2-page faction. Would totally see myself running this in a game, especially in like an urban setting. So yeah, thank you so much for creating this. Thank you to all the fantastic creators in the Discord who are making awesome stuff every day that people can grab and use. There's like now an archive in our Discord of awesome resources like this that have been made by the community, and they make these things and they get put in the archive, and people can just grab them and run them, which is not only like offered, but it's encouraged, because one of the things that we love about our D&D hobby, our TTRPG hobby, is creating cool stuff, and there's nothing more rewarding than knowing when other people are going to use your things, so it just makes it that much better. Anyway, with that being said, loved it. Love taking a look at it, love diving deep into it, and who knows, may even run it sometime if I come up into an urban situation where it would fit really well in one of my campaigns. And with that being said, that is going to be a wrap for today. Thank you so much for coming back for another episode of GM Philosophy in the Morning. I'm here every single day creating content about the best game in the world, D&D. Roll some D100s for me at your next game. I will see you awesome people on the next one.